Alright, so we thought we would just come on here and explain our last 48 hours. We don't have much footage of it, or any footage of it really, but it was pretty hectic times, but it's due to our own fault basically. So a few days ago we got food poisoning. Scott was mild, but mine was pretty bad, and we completely forgot about applying for our visas to Vietnam, because being Australian we need visas to get here, and it's not as simple as visa on arrival for us either, especially because we're going by land. So we did a last minute visa, thinking, us being naive, thinking that it's going to be approved immediately. If worse comes to worse, we did read that there was visas on arrival, but I think that was just bullshit.
It's only in the airport.
It's only in the airport, yeah. It's like, yeah, need be. So we're on our sleeper bus to Vietnam, and our visas still haven't been approved. This girl said something to us, put the thought in our head like, oh, the office closes, so they're not going to be approving any visas until like the next morning. And then that got me thinking. I was like, oh shit, because we've put ours in last minute, and if there's no working hours, then it's not going to get processed. So time is edging on. We arrived at the border at like 2 a.m. in the morning, and we were like, fuck, like what are we going to do, because the office doesn't open until 8 a.m. So we did we ended up doing an emergency visa, so it's, you pay a shit ton of money to get your visa done ASAP, but it's within 2 working hours, and the office again didn't open till 8, so we would guarantee we would receive it by 10 a.m. but we were moving across the border at 7 a.m. when they opened. The border opened at 7. So we're moving along with everyone else. We get stamped out of Laos. We explain to them that our visa hasn't been approved yet, and there's a miscommunication. I don't even know what happened there. Get to Vietnam, or get to the immigration to get our passports stamped and our visas looked at, and we're like, our visa hasn't been approved yet, like it's still pending. And he's like, you can't go, you have to go back to Laos. We're like, okay, yes, we have expected that. But because we've been stamped out of Laos and we can't get into Vietnam, we're in the middle. So so what we did was we asked if we could just stay at the immigration and sit there, because we knew that our visas were going to be approved soon. Otherwise they were going to send us back to Vientiane, which then would have cost us to get back into Laos, so it would have been visas back into Laos and everything else, so it would have cost us more. But they allowed us just to sit on this plank of wood, and they actually took our passports until we could prove that our visas had come through, which luckily it was only about an hour. About an hour we waited, and then they come through, thankfully. So that was a pretty stressful time, but the whole process was, like, when we were going through with everyone else, our bags were still on the bus, and the bus goes through sort of thing, and then you get on at the other side. But luckily, I was like running back and forth to check on our bus, and our bus had rocked up, and I was like, I need to get our bags off. He's like, no, get them across the other side. I was like, I need to get our bags off, and like, no one here really speaks English. So we ended up getting our bags off, thankfully, after a little bit of back and forth. Yeah, so then we had, and then once we got approved, it was pretty smooth rolling. But because we decided to stay at the border in the middle of nowhere, we had no signal or anything, we thought we would just try and get on a bus that was heading to Hanoi, because that night there was like hundreds of buses going to Hanoi. So we thought we'd just jump on one, but during the day it's just trucks. There's 0 buses. It's just trucks. I think buses just come at night time. So we would have had to wait all day. So we found some guy, and he's like, taxi? And we're like, yeah, like how much? But I don't think he was a taxi. I think he was just a local picking up a friend. But we're like, oh, whatever, we'll jump in. So we paid him $1 million to take us to the next town to get on a bus.
Which was far away. It was like 90 kilometers away.
Yeah, it was pretty far. So we were happy to pay for that, because otherwise we would have been stuck at this border with zero reception, and there was no Wi-Fi, and so yeah, and it was a bit dodgy. Like, we felt a bit dodgy. We were trying to Google Translate when reception would fall in. But yeah, it was fine. I think it was just so much was happening, and we hadn't been well, I hadn't eaten or anything. But we got to the bus station and it was leaving within 5 minutes, and we were like, oh my gosh, like a miracle. Yeah. We got on this bus, and yeah, and then it was like another 6.5 hours to Hanoi.
Yeah, the bus ride here was so long.
It was very long. Like 6.5 hours, it's not that long, but that bus ride felt like forever. Anyway, it was better. It was okay. It wasn't the worst. And then we got a grab to our accommodation, but the accommodation had the wrong address. Well, it picked up the wrong address when we put it into Grab, and because we don't really know the difference, things look the same. I don't know, like it sort of matched, so we assumed we were going to the right place, but we did not go to the right place. Then we had to order another Grab to get to our actual accommodation.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we just basically just crashed, and now it's the morning, and this is just a brief view of everything.
Yeah, it's been a journey to get here.
Yeah.
Basically though, to summarize quickly of everything that CJ has just spoken about, and like she said, it's just a very brief outline of what had happened. The key takeaway, guys, and Kaz said this very well on her Instagram, make sure your shit is squared away. If you're an Australian trying to get into Vietnam, make sure you have your visa sorted.
Like,
if you are flying into Vietnam, yes, you can do visa on arrival, but don't. I wouldn't rely on it, just based on our experience. And if you are traveling by boat or bus into Vietnam, you cannot do visa on arrival. You need an e-visa, and it takes anywhere between, like, the average is 1 to 3 working days is the average.
But that was us fast tracking it and spending a little bit more. There's other options, so you can have the cheapest option possible, but that can be up to like a month or so waiting for the visa to come through. But I've also heard, like, my brother was here and they applied for a visa, and it took like 2 months or something. Like, it took a long time to get through.
Yeah.
So,
but basically though, we're in Southeast Asia, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I just mean it. They do things a little bit differently here. Money talks. Money talks. Now, we do not have a lot of money by any means. I don't mean that to come across like we have a lot of money and that's why we're here. What I mean by that is, if you're in an emergency situation and you can basically pay your way out of it, you can do that here.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately what we had to do. Otherwise, you know, like Cass said, we would have had to basically been sent on a bus back to Vientiane, which is the capital of Laos, and figured our shit out from there. So we are very, very thankful for the people that helped us get our visas.
Yeah.
One special mention is to the immigration officer in Laos. He did his very best to make us comfortable, and he even asked us if we had breakfast yet.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But he's also the one that had to go at me because he said, you said you were okay to go into Vietnam, and I was like, no, I didn't. I said our visas weren't approved, so he was like sort of throwing it back onto me that it was my fault. But
they didn't need to do that for us.
No.
They did not need to allow us to stay there in the immigration office while we waited. So very, very thankful for those guys. Thank you for the Vietnam local that we met, who basically would just pick us up along the way and took us to the bus. and now we're here.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure your shit is squared away. If you are going to Vietnam and you have any questions and you're going by bus, ask us some questions, because pretty safe to say we may have the answer for you, considering what we've been through.
Yeah.
We've picked up a lot of knowledge along the way during this whole process. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask us. It's a bit of a different video today, guys, but we thought it was really important to, I guess, talk about our experience with this, because it was a pretty stressful time, but I think we handled it pretty well.
Yeah, we went in, like, because we knew our visas hadn't been approved yet, and we said to each other, all right, we just need to be calm and kind to each other and love each other. And we did. It was great. Like, we didn't.
Yeah, remaining calm in a situation like that.
It was great. It was probably the best we've ever been in, probably our most stressful situation so far.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
Go us.
Go us. Proud of us for that.
Proud of us for that. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, that's it for the video. If you are liking our content so far, please like and subscribe. There is so many new subscribers to our channel. So welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. This isn't usually the videos that we would do, but like I said, it's a bit of an informative education piece today, just based on our experience, because we thought it was pretty important to know.
Yeah, and it's just our fault at the end of the day.
Completely 1000% our fault.
Yeah.
We take ownership for that. We were not organised, but this was our experience, and we were helped out along the way.
Yeah.
By both sides.
I think we were just manifesting hard. Or I was anyway.
Yeah. Just being kind, I think, is the biggest thing as well. Like, I've been known to, when things get stressful, to not like overreact or anything, but get flustered. And I sort of just go and agree with whatever's being said, even though there could be the wrong thing. But Cass has always said to me, just remain calm, think clearly, and that piece of advice definitely helped, because when you are calm in a stressful situation, you can definitely think a lot clearer.
Yeah, your thoughts are a lot clearer. You can process what's been said to you, rather than like, okay.
Yeah, freaking out.
Freak answers.
But that was it, guys. We are now in Vietnam, which is a big bucket list country for both of us.
Yes.
There is so many activities, so many things to do and places to explore.
Yeah.
And we plan on being here for a little bit, so there'll be a few vlogs coming out for Vietnam. We are currently in Hanoi, which is up north. We want to explore Hanoi, and then we'll go further up north to Sapa, and then we'll eventually make our way back down south. So yeah, guys, stay tuned. We appreciate you all. Thank you all for being here. It's been amazing to see the subscriber count continue to rise daily. I'm like a little kid, I check it every hour. So it's been really, really cool. But see you in the next vlog.
Bye.
Bye.